Imagine buying a piece of land larger than most countries for just $7.2 million. In 1867, the United States did exactly that. Many Americans laughed. Newspapers mocked the decision. They called it Seward's Folly and Seward's icebox. They believed the government had just wasted money on a frozen wasteland full of snow and ice. But today, that same land is one of the most strategic, resource-rich, and geopolitically important regions in the world. That land is Alaska, and its modern history is a story of power, war, oil, and survival in one of the harshest environments on Earth. The story begins with a deal between two powerful men. On one side was William H. Seward, the American Secretary of State. On the other side was Alexander II, the ruler of Russia. Russia owned Alaska at the time, but it was far away from Moscow and difficult to defend. After the Crimean War, Russia was financially weak and afraid that Britain might capture Alaska in a future conflict. So Russia decided to sell. Seward saw an opportunity. He believed America should expand westward and become a powerful Pacific nation. In 1867, the United States purchased Alaska for $7.2 million, about 2 cents per acre. At that moment, very few people understood how important that decision would become. For the first few decades, Alaska remained quiet and mostly ignored. It was cold, remote, and difficult to live in. Transportation was limited. There were no large cities. The population was small, mainly indigenous communities who had lived there for thousands of years. But everything changed in 1896. Gold was discovered near the Klondike region. The event became known as the Klondike Gold Rush. Suddenly, thousands of fortune seekers rushed north, hoping to become rich overnight. Small towns grew quickly. Places like Nome became busy centers of trade and mining. Life was harsh. Winters were deadly. Supplies were expensive. Many people failed. But the gold rush proved something important. Alaska was not empty land. It had valuable resources. As the 20th century began, Alaska slowly developed, but it was still not a state. It was officially a U.S. territory. Its geography gave it a hidden advantage. Alaska sits very close to Russia. In some places, the two countries are separated by only a few kilometers across the Bering Strait. This location would soon become extremely important. During World War II, Alaska suddenly became a frontline region. In 1942, Japanese forces attacked parts of the Aleutian Islands. This campaign, known as the Aleutian Islands Campaign, shocked Americans. It was one of the few times during the war that enemy forces occupied U.S. territory. The United States responded quickly. Military bases were built. Airfields were constructed. Soldiers were sent north. The Alaska Highway was completed to connect Alaska to the mainland through Canada. For the first time, Alaska became deeply connected to national defense. Its location made it a shield between North America and Asia. After World War II, tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union increased. The Cold War had begun. Because Alaska sits so close to Russia, it became one of the most important military observation points in the world. Radar systems were built across the Arctic. Military presence increased. Alaska was no longer a distant wilderness. It was a key piece in global strategy. In 1959, Alaska finally achieved statehood. Through the Alaska statehood, it became the 49th state of the United States. Statehood meant more political power, more funding, and more control over local resources. But no one could predict how dramatically its economy was about to change. The true transformation came in 1968. Massive oil reserves were discovered at Prudhoe Bay on Alaska's northern coast. This discovery changed everything. To transport the oil, engineers built one of the most ambitious projects in modern American history, the Trans-Alaska Pipeline System. Stretching over 1,200 kilometers, the pipeline carries oil from the Arctic to the southern port of Valdez. It crosses mountains, rivers, and frozen ground. Its construction brought jobs, money, and rapid development. Alaska's economy boomed. Oil revenue allowed the state to create something unique, the Alaska Permanent Fund. A portion of oil profits is invested, and every year, residents receive a payment known as the Permanent Fund dividend. It is one of the only places in the world where citizens directly receive income from natural resource profits. But modern Alaska also faces serious challenges. Climate change is affecting the region faster than almost anywhere else on Earth. Glaciers are melting. Permafrost is thawing. Coastal villages face erosion as sea ice disappears. The Arctic region is becoming more accessible due to melting ice in the Arctic Ocean. Once again, Alaska's location makes it strategically important. As global powers look north for new trade routes and energy resources, Alaska stands at the center of Arctic geopolitics. Today, Alaska is more than just America's largest state. It is a bridge between continents. It is rich in oil, gas, minerals, and fisheries. It hosts important military bases. It plays a major role in Arctic strategy. And yet, much of it remains wild, untamed, and beautiful. From being mocked as a frozen mistake to becoming one of the most valuable territories in North America, Alaska's modern history proves something powerful. Geography shapes destiny. What once looked like a useless purchase turned out to be one of the smartest strategic decisions in American history. The land that people laughed at in 1867 now protects borders, powers cities, and shapes global politics. And that is the modern story of Alaska, a story of vision, survival, and transformation in the frozen north. If you enjoyed this journey into history and geography, don't forget to subscribe to Histography, because history is not just about the past, it explains the world we live in today.